Good afternoon, everyone. So we are the reporters, and we are the group two, and we're going to tackle about a nanotechnology. And before that, we're going to introduce ourselves. By the way, I am Geraldine Gardonia.
I'm Maring Eko Sama.
And it's me, Charles Meca.
I'm Michael Domingo. RJ Chu.
I'm Sadir Sito.
I'm Athena Yvonne Fisherman.
I'm Ryan.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Eric Casale.
Naturally, Binyas.
Last year, I'm Daniel Wong. Yeah.
Nice.
And good afternoon once again. And as what Anne said, we're going to tackle about the nanotechnology. And before that, we're going to discuss what is nanoscience. So it says here that nanoscience is the study of materials and phenomena at the nanoscale, typically designed as being between 1 and 100 nanometers in size. Wong, please. As you can see, this is a nanoscale. This is the nanoscale. So 1 to 100, it is already considered as nanoparticles. So if ever na malapa siya, 1 to 100, so that is not already called nanoparticles. So it includes the study of interdisciplinary field combining physics, chemistry, biology, and engineering. So kani siya, study ni siya sa mga molecular and atomic particles na ato ang ginagamit for everyday living. So even sa ato ang phone, na-study din of nanoscience and everything naata. So with that, in order to manipulate or in order to magamit na to ang nanoscience and study sa nano, we need a nanotechnology. So, what is nanotechnology? Nanotechnology is a branch of science and technology that deals with the manipulation and studying matter at the nanoscale. So, since akong kanina, it is a nanoscale. Ang nanoscale, isa din siya ka-tech nga ginagamit in order nga ma-measure nato ang mga nano particles. So, in order to utilize the study of nanoscience or the study of the professional who is studying the nanos, we needed to use or we need to utilize this nanotechnology. So, so in order to understand it further, the next reporter will going to discuss about the other definition of terms.
So, nanoparticles. So, nanoparticles are tiny particles with dimensions typically ranging from 1 to 100 nanometers. To put that into perspective, nanometer is 1 billion of a meter. So, nanoparticles are incredibly small, often on the scale of molecules or small biological structures. These particles can be composed of various materials, including metals, metal oxides, polymers, and carbon-based materials. Among other, what distinguishes nanoparticles from bulk materials is their size and the fact that at this scale, they often exhibit unique physical, chemical, and biological properties that are different from their larger counterparts. These unique properties make nanoparticles incredibly valuable in a wide range of applications across many fields. Nanoparticles find applications in areas such as medicine. For medicine is drug delivery and imaging, and the second is electronics. For the electronics is nanoelectronics and sensors. And the third is material science. So the material science is coatings and composites. And next is environmental remediation. For the environmental remediation is for pollutant removal and water purification. And the last is energy. For the energy is solar cells and batteries. Their small size gives them a high surface area to volume ratio. which enhances their activity and makes them useful in catalysis. And as sensing agents, additionally, their small size enables them to penetrate biological barriers, making them promising candidates for targeted drug delivery and imaging in medicine. However, the unique properties of nanoparticles also raise concerns about their potential impacts on health and the environment, which has led to extensive research into understanding and mitigating any potential risks associated with their use. For example, I give you some examples of the nanoparticles. For example, silver nanoparticles. These silver nanoparticles are tiny particles of silver, typically typically ranging from 1 to 100 nanometer in size. They exhibit unique antibacterial properties and are used in variety for consumer products such as wound dressing, textiles, and food packaging materials. That's the examples. That's some examples of nanoparticles. Next is nanoelectronics. Nanoelectronics is a branch of nanotechnology that ideas with the design, fabrication, and application of electronic components and devices at the nanoscale level. This field focuses on utilizing materials and structures with dimensions on the nanometer and nanometer is typically less than 100 nanometers. To create electronic circuits and systems with enhanced performance, efficiency, and functionality. These examples for the nanoelectronics. First is nanomaterials. So nanomaterials, materials such as carbon nanotubes, it includes graphene and nanowires are being explored for their unique electrical properties, which can lead to smaller, faster, and more energy efficient electronic devices. Nanoparticles and nanoelectronics.
Nanoscale. Nanoscale refers to the scale of materials and structures typically between 1 and 100 nanometer in size. So, ipakita naman ito kanina ang nanoscale. So, mga siyang nanoscale. In short, measurements siya sa mga small materials between 1 and 100 nanometers. Next, nanomaterials. Nanomaterials are materials with at least one dimension in the nanometer range. Their unique properties differ from their bulk counterparts, making them useful in various applications. So, nanomaterials is mga materials na gagmay or ma-measure siya gamit ang nanoscale, which is useful siya sa ato karon. For example, battery. Ang battery ga use of nanomaterials such as carbon black or mo na nagagamit aron mo himo og better energy for battery or mag-last long ang battery. And for sports, ginagamit po nato ni sa sports or makahimo og new lighter and stronger materials or shirts or for example balls. The use of nanomaterials to make balls even stronger and lighter.
Polymer dots or P dots. These nanoscale fluorescent particles have been used as radiometric fluorescent sensors for biosensing and cell imaging. Polymer dots are ultra-small particles made of polymers, used in fields like medicine and electronics for their unique light emitting and drug delivery properties. Polymer dots have been developed as a bright emissive nanoprobe used for bioimaging diagnosis of the disease and drug delivery, or it can also be used for therapy. quantum dots, or QDs. These semiconductor nanocrystals have unique optical and electronic properties. They have been used as radiometric fluorescent sensors for biosensing and cell imaging, and in cancer therapy as photosensitizers. Sorry. Quantum dots are ultra small semiconductor particles with unique light and electronic properties used in displays, solar cells, and medical imaging for their efficiency and precise color emission. In the last years, QDs have been extensively studied in biosensing, in vitro diagnosis, cancer treatment, bioimaging, drug delivery, etc. Currently, QDs are widely used for optical imaging of cancer cells, which has great significance for clinical diagnosis.
Hello guys. Silicon nanorods. These nanoscale silicon structures have been used as radiometric fluorescent sensors for biosensing and cell imaging. Here are two examples of silicon nanorods have been used as radiometric fluorescent sensors for biosensing and cell imaging. In biosensing, silicon nanorods functionalized with DNA probes can be used for the detection of nucleic acid or genetic mutation associated with disease such as cancer. In cell imaging, silicon nanorods functionalized with targeting ligands can be used for visualizing specific receptors or proteins on the cell membrane, providing insights into cell signaling and communication processes. Gold nanoparticles. These are nanoscale gold particles that have been unique optical and electronic properties. They have been used as radiometric fluorescent sensors for biosensing and cell imaging and cancer therapy or photosynthesizers. Gold nanoparticles functionalized with antibodies can be used for detection of proteins or antigens in clinic samples, providing a rapid and sensitive diagnostics tool for diseases. In biomedical applications, gold nanoparticles are used in biomedical research and medicine for drug delivery, imaging, and therapy. Their small size allows them to penetrate biological barriers, and their surface can be functionalized with various molecules for targeted delivery in specific cells.
So, carbon nanomaterials. The bird family of allotropes, known as materials, includes the following. One-dimensional carbon nanotubes, two-dimensional graphene, and three-dimensional nanodiamonds and nanohorns, and zero-dimensional fullerenes and quantum dots. For further explanation, a carbon tube with a diameter in the nanometer range is known as a carbon nanotube. Nanoscale developed to the group of carbon allotropes with dimensions between 0.5 and 2.0 nanometers. Single-wall carbon nanotubes are 100 times narrower than human hair. A single layer of carbon atoms organized in a two-dimensional honeycomb details makes up graphene. It is a basic component of many well-known carbon compounds, including zero-dimensional fullerene, one-dimensional carbon nanotubes, and three-dimensional graphene. Nanodiamonds with their large surface areas, adjustable surface structures, and superior mechanical and optical qualities. They are ideal for biomedical application because they are also non-toxic. In this section, we go into the scientist. The scientist is composition, characteristics, surface chemistry, and phase transitions of both a single and multi-nanodiamonds particles. Specifically, we talk about the logical manipulation of surface protein, internal protein, and functional growth integration to regulate the mechanical, chemical, electrical, and optical properties of nanodiamonds, where tiny joules can be used as protein mimics filament material for nanocomposites, and offer with wide range of potential uses: tribology, drug delivery, bioimaging, and tissue engineering. So, these include carbon-based graphene and fullerenes. They have been used in cancer therapy as photosynthesizers, photodermal agents, and upturners selection. So, bits. These microscale particles have been used in upturner selection to isolate specific nucleic acid sequences. So, these dye particles have been employed in the isolation of particular nucleic acid sequences using upturner selection. The target is found on magnetic fields in random oligonucleotide library, and is incubated as part of the upturner selection procedure.
So, other nanoparticles. So, this includes a variety of other nanoscale particles such as magnetic and metal oxide nanoparticles. They have been used in cancer therapy as photosynthesizers and Ampere selection. So, these are the types of other nanoparticles. There are diamond, fullerene, carbon tube, carbon nanotube, graphite, graphene oxide, and carbon dot. So the most common is carbon nanotube. Carbon nanotube is mostly used on such as cancer therapy and Ampere selection. It is also used on sports. For example, is a bike frame and textile. For example, in textile is the bag, a bag called Hawk. Kung pagpalit mo sa bag na Hawk, makikita ko na papel, sulat dito is that the bag have a nanosilver particles which have antibacterial purposes. If you have other questions regarding in this different types of particles except for the carbon tube, then you can ask me personally in the meeting. Next is
nanomaterials can occur naturally in forest fire. So, as you can see here, there are forest fire, and the ashes and the fire, it produces a lot of atomic and molecular particles. So, some of it, at some point, if ato na siyang ma-inhale, and like sa sea spray and the mineral composites, volcanic ashes, and viruses, if ever nga ito na ma-inhale or kanang murag magutangan tayo mga ingana, so possibly na siya danger or threat sa atwa. Next. Nanomaterials can produce by human activity, either as product of another activity. So, as it was stated here that product of another activity. So if ever nga ato siyang ginabuhat, so if ever nga magluto ta, so na siya cooking smoke. So kaning cooking smoke, naani siya ang factor pod na ano siya mga nanomaterials nga kanang ma-inhale nato, and in which makalid pod sa threat And then sa diesel exhaust, here, also pwede siya ga-cause o ganang polluted air or pollution. So, dili lang siya sa tao maka-affect, but also sa environment. And then we have welding fumes, industrial effluents, kaning mga hugaw. Kita mo na sa barko, kanang kinasok pa na makita ninyo sa barko, kanang magawa sila o kanang hugaw, ikan dito sa ilahang barko, and then igawas na po nila sa tubig. So, ang factor ana is that ang mga coral reefs or any other na mga isda nga nasa sea, possibly ang mga mata or kanang mga daot. So, we have also a sand blasting. Next is nanomaterials can be produced by purpose. So, if ever katong sa isa nga kanang produce by the other activity nga dili ko siya mapungan kay, for example, magluto ta, so naman siya smoke, so then pag dili sa magluto, so sa itong kaunon, and in this, like kanang ginahimo siya in purpose na pwede man, dili ko siya mingon na pwede siya nga dili buhaton, but then need po siya, but then ako siya apekto sa ato environment and sa ato as human. So we have metal, so when we say metals, it is very common kay makita na nato, and then quantum dots, ang kani siya, mo ni siya nga kanang mga materials na ginaproduce siya via sunlight. So we have solar, diba? So pag ikaw makuha ta sa sunlight o kanang energy nga para makaproduce ta og electricity. And then we have buckyballs or what we call nanotubes, sunscreen pigments, and then nano capsules.
In 1959, Richard Feynman's speech, "There is plenty of room at the bottom," sparked interest in nanotechnology and the exploration of the nanoscale. Richard Feynman's idea of manipulating atoms and molecules at the nanoscale led to the creation of scanning tunneling microscopy, STM. So, STM enables scientists to see and control individual atoms on surfaces, revolutionizing the study of materials at the atomic level and driving progress in nanotechnology. So, in 1974, Japanese engineering Naruyo Taniguchi coined nanotechnology, categorizing the study and manipulation of materials at the nanoscale. For example, Naruyo Taniguchi's term nanotechnology in action is the development of nanoparticle-based drug delivery system. This system utilized nanoscale particles to transport medications to a specific target within the body, enhancing drug efficacy and minimizing side effects. Nanotechnology's humble beginning. In 4th century, Roman artists discovered the use of gold and silver nanoparticles in glass, resulting in a unique color-changing effect as seen in the Lycurgus cup. So, mauni ang example sa Lycurgus cup nga naa sa picture siya diri or diri. Kapag malaytan na siya in front, kay mo green, pero kapag malaytan siya sa likod, kay mo red siya in front. So, naga-change color siya due to the phenomenon of dichroism, where different colors are perceived depending on the angle of the light, transmission and reflection through the cup's glass structure containing nanoparticles of gold and silver. During the medieval era, European artisans utilized gold and silver nanoparticles in glass to create a vibrant red and yellow colors in stained glass windows. So these are the examples of the stained glass windows. Ayan siya diri or diri. Makita ni siya sa mga simbahan and sa mga and sa stained glass makita nimo ang different religious stories.
Here are some additional information about the modern nanotechnology. By the year 1981, the The STM, or the scanning tunneling microscope, was discovered or invented by the German scientist Gerd Binnig with his partner, a Swiss national scientist Heinrich Roller, which allowed scientists and engineers to visualize and manipulate individual atoms, marking the beginning of modern nanotechnology. The difference of the STM, ang kalayan sa STM ug sa conventional na microscope is that ang STM nagagamit siya og mura gamay siya na kahit niya siya na pin, tapos sa kahit niya ginagamit siya nga dili siya ginatusok siya mismo sa object, sa lang ginapatong na tapos mag-image niya siya mga individual atom which mo to nakatabang sa mga engineers o scientists para mas ma-studyan nilang maayo ang nanotechnology. Then by the year 1986, Gerd Binnig and Heinrich Roller won the Nobel Prize in Physics for inventing the scanning tunneling microscope, what you know, STM. Sa tungkol silang invention na STM, mas ni lalong pa, mas nidagan pa na estudya ng mga engineers at scientists. Tungkol silang contribution, which is the STM. And in 1991, Japanese scientist Sumio Iijima discovered the carbon nanotubes. Kaning carbon nanotube kay, unlike sa, kung i-compare mo siya sa metal, gamay kay siya, then mas gaan siya, pero mas, bisag gamay siya, mas gaan siya, mas ligon siya, o mas durable, o mas durable na siya compared sa metal. Ang uban ka sa mga products karon nga made up of nanotubes kay atong mas nindot siya quality compared sa mga uban na products nga wala nagagamit og nanotube.
So before I start, I wanna tell you some summarization of this nanotechnology day. Nanotechnology, the article discusses the societal implication of nanotechnology in the United States. It highlights the growing concern about the impacts of nanotechnology on various aspects of society, such as privacy, workforce, security, health, and human condition. The article also examines the roles of the social science in understanding and defining its impacts. It provides three narratives to illustrate the evolution of nanotechnology research, speculation, and concerns about its implication. So in this specific year, in 1998, the nanotechnology in American scientists led by Don Igler at IBM spelled out IBM using 35 individual xenon atoms, marking an iconic example of precise atom manipulation in the development of nanotechnology. So, nanotechnology journey traces back the late 1990s into 1998 when researchers made breakthrough in manipulating and studying materials to nanoscale. It marked the dawn of field with vast potential, revolutionizing various industries from electronics to medicine. So example of this specific year, what they made or mga itong ilang ginapanghimo in nanotechnology is that one notable example from 1998 is the development of carbon nanotubes by Sumio Iijima, which opened up new possibilities in material science, electronics, and other fields. These tiny cylindrical structures composed of carbon atoms arranged in a hexagonal lattice exhibit remarkable mechanical, electrical, and thermal properties. So that's the mga lang nahimo in this specific year 1998. So in late 2000, President Bill Clinton launched the National Nanotechnology Initiative, or what they call NNI, in the United States, aiming to fund research, promote collaboration, and raise public awareness about nanotechnology potential. This certainly in 2000, Charles Lieber and his team at Harvard University successfully developed the first nanowire transistor. These nanoscale transistors made from semiconductor nanowires paved the way of miniaturization and improved performance in electronic devices. This breakthrough marked a significant advancement in the field of nanoelectronics. So, ang example ani niya kay kanang switches, kanang any kinds of switches. So, ang una na imo ni katong si Charles Labor sa Harvard University is that the nanowire transistor. So, ang silicon nanowire transistor kay mao na siya ang naga-simplifies both processing and allows the device to be switched on and off. So we proceed to 2016. Jean-Pierre Sauvage, Sir Fraser Stoddart, and Bernard Franga were recognized for the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for their groundbreaking contribution to the development of nanoscale molecule machines. This recognition solidified nanotechnology impact and potential for future breakthroughs. So, one example lang in this specific year is kaning nag-evolve na ni siya, mo na ning start sa kanang revolution of the nanotechnology. One example of nanotechnology in 2016 was the development of the novel nanoparticle-based drug delivery system by the scientists at MIT. These nanoparticles were designed to target specific cancer cells. So, mao na siya ang kanang kumbaga nakay-sakit. So, kanang in this year, kanang pag nakay-sakit na katong nahimo na nila sila si Jean-Pierre Sauvage kato sila. Nana sila mag-provide sa cancer. So, mao na to siya ang kanang revolutionary or what we call kanang nag-evolve na siya ang technology. So, these nanoparticles were designed to target specific cancer cells, delivering chemotherapy directly to tumor while minimizing side effects on healthy tissues. This marked a significant advancement in personalized medicine in cancer treatment.
Let's proceed for the applications of nanotechnology. Nanotechnology, in the word application of nanotechnology is revolutionized electronics, medicine, energy, and more manipulating materials and atomic skills. It enhanced the technologies and address challenges and healthcare in environmental and information technology with ongoing research driving further transformative applications. In word applications of nanotechnology is nagamit siya og electronic engineering and medicines of energy. Let's proceed for the smart textiles industry. Nanotechnology is to use the smart textiles industry to create fabric with unique properties such as the water resistance, stain resistance, and UV protections. And nanoparticles such as graphene oxide and TO2 in titanium dioxide and create this fabric. In short, sa fabric is mo nitong ginagamit sa mga model na magsiga na gown na pasok to siya sa sa smart textiles. And dili sa UV protections is kani mag-prevent siya sa init. And ang example ng kani is bumper sa sakinan like kanang dili ka silawan kayo o sunglasses. Let's proceed for the cosmetics. Cosmetics is nanotechnology that has found its ways into the cosmetic industry and used to improve the efficiency of cosmetics product. Nanotechnology in the cosmetics is not new as has been introduced in 1961 with advent in the liposome technology used to the market some moisturizing cream. Kanina, muna ginagamit na to sa daily uses or daily life sa mga babae or sa lalaki kaning mga cosmetics. Dili ni mga cosmetics like makeup kani is prevent po ni siya sa UV protections like cream, sunscreen, or lips or lip balm para ma-maintain sa lip balm, para ma-maintain ang linis sa lips, and also moisturizing. Let's proceed for the medicine. Nanotechnology has a significant impact of the field of the medicines, and it has been used in various applications such as the drug delivery, imaging, sensor, and tissues engineering. In there is a drug delivery is may sample lang po dito is dextrose or injection na gina-direct na siya dito sa lawas, hindi na siya like example na mag-inom like sa tambal or pila pa ka days na maayo. O dito sa sensor, example ako dito sa sensor is sensor sa smart lagi sensor like para may bala nimo ang temperature o heart rate sa imong lawas.
Okay, siya, in continuation of the application of nanotechnology is, the next one is soil remediation. So, it is defined as nanotechnology is used to eliminate contaminants in soil environments. Nanomaterials such as iron, nanoparticles, and carbon nanotubes to remove contaminants from the soil. So, here, nanotechnology and soil remediation using super small materials. One of the best example here is the para ma-improve ang crops sa mga farmers, para mawala ang mga pesticides, and ma-fertilize or nano-fertilizer para mutambok ang yuta o para mas dagan silang maani o dili sila malugi sa ilang crops. Next po. So in forest management, nanotechnology is used in forestry to develop new nanomaterials to manage forests from risks such as drought, flood, salinity, fire, invasion, and pathogen. So in forest management, nanotechnology involves using nanoparticles in order for the forest or the woods to improve durability para mas liton ang mga kaning mga na woods, and also making them more resistant to decay and pesticides. One of the best example here in forest management is the nanomaterials for soil. So it improves like nano fertilizer and nano decay that can enhance soil fertility, water retention, and nutrient availability for promoting healthier tree growth and to improve to enhance our ecosystem. Water and wastewater treatment. The utilization of nanotechnology enhances the efficiency of water and wastewater treatment processes while also expanding the available water supply through the safe of utilization of non-traditional water sources. Nanomaterials like carbon nanotubes and graphite oxide play a crucial role in removing contaminants from water. Here in the water and wastewater treatment, so the best example ani is sa Trigod sa water district. Ang best example sa water and wastewater treatment because they use filtration para mas kulimpyo ang tubig, tapos walay kanang bacteria na ato ang mainom para in order for us to be safe. And also this nanofiltration is the treatment means using really tiny materials to clean up dirty water. This could include using substances like heavy metals and bacteria, like making water safer to drink. So that's what that was I said earlier. So that's all.
So, plant growth and crop protection. Nanotechnology is used to improve agricultural production by increasing efficiency of inputs and minimizing relevant losses. So, I'll set an example for this. So, example is a plant. So, for a plant to grow, must be a for a plant to grow, it should have the right amount of fertilizer, pesticide, and water. So to achieve so if you put too much fertilizer, pesticide, and water, it can cause the crops of the death of crops. And also, if you put too short, it cannot sustain more life. So to achieve the right amount, here is nanotechnology comes in. So it helps, specifically of a nano biosensor. It helps monitor the crop of when, where, and how much input do we need of fertilizers, pesticide, and water. So with this, it helps us minimize. It can help us minimize relevant losses. And next is food packaging and food safety. Nanotechnology is used in food packaging to create barrier materials to prevent contamination and extend the shelf life of the food. So example of this is supermarket. So kung mapalit ka sa supermarket o karne, usually kung nasa tray, mostly nakakover siya ng cylindra, which is called a nanosilica. Nanosilica is a oxygen barrier nylon, which helps water and moisture coming in from the meat, which helps preventing of other bacteria getting in the product. Not also that, but nanotechnology helps in not only from getting in but also getting out. So example is carbonated drinks. So carbonated drinks it is called nanoclay. So nanoclay is used in carbonated drinks. So it prevents carbon dioxide getting out of the bottle and keeps your drink bubbly. And next is
See an advantage with the nanotechnology, so we are still considering the ethical issues of the nanotechnology. So first, we have the issues regarding the health concerns. So nanoparticles can go through the human body through inhalation. So as what I've said earlier, that if we inhale ashes and any what do you call this, the mga aso nga na mga nanoparticles, it could lead to health concerns. But then it is also one of the factors na gina-consider sa nanotechnology or the ethical problem, since even though gagmay siya, so dili mo jud kayo na siya makita, but then ethical, they are still considering it. So in terms of human enhancement, so even though nanotechnology is very small particles, but then it has a lot of factor in which it can enhance the human capabilities, such as a memory, strength, and intelligence. So let's say they are utilizing the technology in which ginaputang nila sa technology any other atomic or mga molecular particles, and then they push through nila sa brain or any other supplements or whatsoever na utilize sa technology para ma-enhance. But then, even though dako siya factor kay if kanang dato ka, if kaya nimo nga mo what do you call this? Mo-purchase o ganang ingana ng mga enhancement, but then the technology does not, it's unclear because the technology is not particular to what extent could be the technology enhance humans. Next is the environmental concern. So nanoparticles have the potential to enter the environment through various channels, including waves. So, as what I have mentioned again earlier, that it could lead to industrial waste, like ng mga ugaw, and then gina-consider po siya kay dako siya impact sa environment since we all know that very polluted na kayo ang atuang environment. And next is the regulation, and then there is currently a deficiency of regulation in many countries regarding nanotechnology. Regulation, there is factor that nanotechnology is overly used or maging dependent na, that is why it is also considered as the ethical problem, but then this nanotechnology needs a lot of risk research, unsay maging effect niya sa atong environment, sa humans and other factors na need siya i-consider because wala na siya na-regulate and di na to siya regulate para dili ta kanang ma-put at risk or ma-put at threat. So next is the social concern. For this social concerns, nanotechnology will widen the gap between the rich and the poor. So, socio-economic. So, let's say, there are a lot of people na maka-enhance or they are the means nga para ma-enhance ang ilang capabilities as humans. But then, mag-set siya barriers between the poor and the rich because, dali lang ma-afford sa mga rich, but then ang mga poor, so maiwit na sila sa mga advancement nga nasa to ang society. So, it may have access to enhanced capabilities that others do not. So, nandun siya barriers between sa poor and the rich since, in terms of finances and other access to the technology nga dili jud tanan maka-afford or naay means to afford or to purchase it. But in conclusion, when we say nanotechnology, when we say nano magod, it is very gagmay. It is a gagmay na particles. So since sa iyang size, sa iyang size, wala pa dun siya kanang naging main na problem or let's say nga kanang naka-affect siya sa environment at sa human. So there is no major but then it can cause pollution kaya since gamitan siya ng mga nanotechnology, like makuha na ito ang mga nanoparticles sa mga ashes and mga fires na mag-occur naturally or even man-made. And that's it. This concludes our discussion for the nanotechnology.